Welcome to Marketing Funnels with Nipun Syal. We have with us Frank Bernardo. Hi, welcome to our show, Frank.
Hey there. Thank you so much for chatting to this afternoon. I really, really appreciate it.
And Frank is top 10 affiliate of Alex. And we'll ask what's the secret sauce? How was the journey? How are you feeling after you reached to top 10?
It doesn't feel real because when I decided to make the push to get into the top 10, it was kind of late in the game because a lot of the things that I was using wasn't working as well as I wanted it to. And so I came up with a plan and we made this last minute push to make it all happen. And it doesn't feel real. I don't think it's going to be real until I'm sitting in front of him, talking to him. And I hope I can actually articulate what I want when I'm there.
Okay, amazing, amazing. So, how was the overall journey? When you decide you want to be in the contest, and at the day one, are you do you have any gut feeling you will be on the top 10?
No, not at all. I didn't think I'd have a shot. And, I joined his affiliate program right away because I've been a huge advocate of his for probably the last 3 to 4 years. A lot of what he has done has influenced the business that I have now. I would say probably 90% of everything I'm doing is influenced by him. And so when I joined the affiliate program, I was super excited. And I'm like, there's no way I'm going to be able to get into the top 10. I'm like, hey, if I can get into the top 50, I know, I think his first thing was if you can get 10 people to sign up. And so I got 10 people to sign up. And then I'm like, there's no way. And then I looked at the numbers on the affiliates and I'm like, oh man, they're in the thousands. Like that one guy was like 9,000. And I was like,
Yeah.
there's no way. And so I started doing Facebook ads. I started doing email marketing because I have a massive amount of data and all these emails and all these Facebook things, they weren't really producing a lot. And so I had an idea and I said, you know what? So I have VAs that help me with my business that I have with Recruiting Boss. And I literally get on 4,000 leads for my clients per month. And I said, you know what? I don't think I can rely on people opening up my email, clicking it, and filling it out on their own. So I think I have to help them. And so I got my VA team together and I said, I want you to start calling everybody. Call everybody, let them know about this opportunity, and then guide them through helping them fill out this information so they can be a part of this and get all of Alex's information. And so I released my VA team and they literally started calling on my behalf to contact all of these people as much as they possibly can. And I remember the night before it ended, we were around, I think I was like, there's no way I'm not in the top 10 now. This is crushing it. I was at number 7 at one point. And then the night before I was 11. And I was like, no, I am too close. I am too close. And so I got everybody together and I said, one last push. I'm like, I gave everybody a quota and I said, this is what we need to do. And we all got on the phone and we just started contacting people and saying, hey, Alex is doing this launch. There's this program, we can help sign you up. And then literally I'm refreshing it. And some of my devices wouldn't refresh and some would. And then all of a sudden, I was number 9 and he didn't announce the official top 10 until the very end. You were there. And so I was like, is this real? Have they not released the last one yet? And then they said our names at the end. And I was super excited. I was super pumped that it actually worked out.
So congratulations for that achievement. And I want to ask, you told me recruitment boss. It's a very fancy name. So what exactly, lots of people have challenge in recruitment, lots of time they don't get a good manpower. So how exactly you are doing it, how you are solving that problem?
So I've been in real estate for 23 years and I've sold real estate at a high level. I've done really well in it. And then I was recruited to become a manager, a team leader of real estate offices. And as a team leader, especially of the company Keller Williams, our job is to recruit agents because there's an attrition. And so we need to recruit 10 people every month. And that was the goal. And so I was able to do that at a very high level. I was really good at it. And what it was is that I figured out how to get 30 to 100 recruiting leads every month for my office. And I did this for myself for 2 offices that I ran for about 7 years. And then I felt it was time for me to move on to do something more. And my wife told me, you should do something for team leaders and create a program for them. And so when AI came out, I leveraged AI. I leveraged a lot of the skills that I did over the last 7 years. And I figured out how to basically take your office. If you were a team leader at an office and you needed to recruit people, I could help get you over 30 to 100 recruiting leads every single month. And there's a lot of companies out there that do this. I'd say a lot. I mean, I'd say a handful. The difference between them and me is that I have actually done it. I know how to recruit people. I know how to talk to them. I know how to do all of the things that a real estate recruiter would need to know how to do. So I put it all in a package together and I went out to a couple of offices and they all said yes. And so I started marketing it and I used Alex Hormozi's, $100 million offers because it's
Okay.
like, like make an offer so good that it feels stupid, to say no to.
So,
And so like I went to an office, I said, hey, would you want 30 to 100 recruiting leads done for you? And so far, like I have an 80 to 90% closing rate when I have a meeting with somebody. And so I use that. And then now with the framework money models, that's changing my business again. With the Recruiting Boss program, I'm able to get recruiting leads for offices. We've scaled about 2,000% in the last 12 months. And we just keep growing and growing and growing. And I'm super excited because the money models is going to change the game for me.
yeah. So you're a big fan of 100 million leads, 100 million offer, and now 100 million money model.
Yeah, because the leads part, like I already knew some of this stuff, but the way he articulated and put it together, like the core four, like that's everything. Like the cold, the warm, the content, and the paid, like that totally is everything. And that's actually helping me mold my money model for the next iteration of my company. And then when the money models came out, like I've read the whole thing, I'm rereading it, and then the part where, he's just talking about upsells. And so like I read that part. I had two upsells that came to me immediately, and I'm in the middle of literally putting it together. So by the time I see Alex in October, it's already going to be done, putting together and implement. And so the questions they said, what questions are you going to ask Alex? Like my questions are going to be different by the time I get there, just because of what I've already implemented.
Yeah, and if you read that latest 100 million money model, I already completed that. So in that case, there is attraction, then there is upsell, then there is downsell. That's how I created. And then there is like the overall stuff, how we can implement. And here I want to ask, like, if you talk about 100 million offers and now for outreach, like there is like cold email, meta ads, what was the best stuff it worked for you after VAs? What is the best stuff work for you to get to that rank, to
To
get good
get to which,
affiliates?
uh,
Get top 10
so
in affiliates.
yeah, so it was basically cold outreach. Email marketing was not so good. Meta ads was not so good, but it was basically the cold outreach and the one-on-one contact. So the one-on-one outreach, because I had a connection to these people and it was easy for me to reach out and say, hey, this is Frank, or hey, we work for Frank. And that was a really easy connection because it created value and it created trust immediately, because it wasn't like, oh yeah, by the way, you don't know me. It was like, oh yeah, this is what we're doing and we want to invite you to do it as well.
How difficult it was for someone, like when you call someone and then it goes to Alex site and click, and sometimes people don't trust it's a call from Frank only, because sometimes you are not on the call. So is there any incident you want to like share, like when somebody don't believe it's a call from Frank or something else,
No,
some
so I
strange
think,
thing?
yeah, so what we would do is we would call and most people wouldn't answer the call. I'd say
Okay.
25% of people would actually answer the phone. And so what I did is I employed my system to recruit people for my business, Recruiting Boss. I employed that for this. And so what we did is we called people. When they didn't answer, we texted them and we said, hey, this is so and so. We have something we want to give you for free. And so we got them on the call. So it was a phone call, text, phone call, text, text, text. And so when we got them on the phone, we just said, hey, there's this thing happening, and we explained it. And most people knew who Alex was. And if they didn't, we just gave them a brief, description. And we was like, this could be like the biggest event for book launching ever and all these different things. And we just gave them a list of values that they could run through to get people interested. And when they heard that, most people were like, yeah, sure, sign me up. And some people were like, well, can you just sign me up? And we're like, well, absolutely. And so we just signed them up while they were on the phone. And we said, okay, did you get an email? They're like, great. And they were good to go. And so it was literally just personal outreach and talking to people and creating that trust connection, on the front end, because I think that's why people weren't clicking the email and weren't responding to the Meta Facebook ads, because as great as AI is, there's a lot of people out there that are starting to not trust it. And so I think
Right.
we have to be aware of that. And so doing that personal outreach, like negated all of that. And so everybody's like, oh, yeah. and they just signed up.
Amazing. And I've seen your Facebook post also. You were standing in front of acquisition headquarters. So what was it? Can you elaborate? And you put it like the guards don't allow. I want to like heard from you, and I want to hear it from you.
Yeah, so I actually was born and raised in Las Vegas. So I'm very familiar with where he was and where he was located. And so I was actually out in Vegas while he was doing his launch because I was out there for my daughter's birthday. And so I was literally at the pool with my laptop during the entire launch, which I think is really funny. Everybody's out playing, having fun. I'm like, no, I got to watch this.
Mhm.
And so I
Yeah.
said, you know what? Before I go home, I have to go by and see if I can get a photo in front of the building. And so I drove to where it was, which is not far from the strip. And I pulled in, and there was a gate and there was a guard. And then there was like 3 or 4 guards up to the front of the doorway of the building, just hanging out. Like everyone's just hanging out. And so I just said, you know, my son was like, what are you doing? I'm like, well, I'm going to go see if I can get in. He's like, you're
Yeah.
insane. I go, I am. I am insane. And so I walked over to the guy and he like looks over me and he stands up and I'm like, hey, I said the stupidest thing. Like, this is the dumbest thing I could have said. I said, hey, I was just part of the launch and I was one of his top 10 affiliates. I just wanted to come in and see if I could take a photo in front of the building. And he just looked at me like I was insane. And he goes, you can do it over there, and pointed to the outside of the gate, like, you ain't coming in. Like, he was basically like, you're not coming in here. You're crazy. And he goes, yeah, you can go stand over there and do it. And I'm like, all right, I got it. No problem. And so I got my son to come out of the car and I said, I need you to take a picture of me by the sign. And so, because the way the trees were outside the gate, you couldn't get a good picture of the building. So I took a picture of it, and right off to the left of me, to the right in the photo, to the left of me, the guard was just standing there with his hand like on his hip, like watching me, like, is this guy going to try to run past me? It
Okay.
was just really funny. So, but the
So
parking lot was full, and there was a couple people coming and going, but there was definitely like 4, it looked like armed guards, like hanging out at the front.
okay, now they will like show you the gate towards the where Alex is sitting and waiting for you to do a podcast, right?
Well, I'm gonna walk in. I'm like, hey, do you remember me? Because you wouldn't let me in
Yeah,
before.
amazing. So, did you use any AI stuff into it, like while outreaching and other? Like right now, AI is quite trending.
You know, I didn't. I probably would have if I would have had more time. But when I originally signed up, I sent emails out to all my personal friends and people, and I didn't get a lot of people to sign up. I sent private Facebook messages, and I got some people to sign up. I got to get over 10, and that was cool. And then as the time kept clicking down, I started running out of options. And so I didn't feel like I had any time to implement any AI strategy. I said, I have to go at this head. You know, I personally cannot get over 4,000 people signed up. And so I had to bring in my team. I told them to stop working on everything. I said, start working on this. And then we basically all, within, I think, a week to 2 weeks, got to the top 10 just because I made a decision in my mind. I said, no, we're doing this and this is happening. Usually when I make that decision in my mind, like, I just make things happen. And so that's
Yeah,
I mean, an AI. So I think did you do an AI strategy? Because you're
I'm a
number
AI
two.
guy. Yeah,
You're number
I did
two.
lots of AI stuff. I do the AI calling. We created like all those cold emails. I did my AI workshops. So I did like lots of stuff related to AI. Then only I will able to reach to. And even I talked to Chahid also, yeah.
Yeah, what did the number one guy do? He had to have done something with AI.
No, so what he did is like I talked to Chahid also like day before yesterday. So I was chatting like how you get it. Like you just spend only $44, and our budget are quite high for all those stuff we are doing, and even we are contributing lots of time. Then and you just cracked it in 5 days. Then he said like I put up a many chat, I put up a $40 ad, and I have a good followings. Lots of people commented. The second stuff is one of his friend is good influential guy who is having a millions of following on social media. He said I just requested him to put it over there, and he put it and everything get cracked up. Lots of people then again start sharing his posts as that guy did, and that's how he reached 99 above 9,000 in just 5 days.
I was like, that's crazy. I'm like, I'm not catching that guy. There's no way.
Even I just when just I got a mail from Alex, somebody just come with 4,500. The first space was 4,500. And I said 45, and then next 3 days 9,000. I said just I'm not in competition with this guy because another day, another 3 days might be he's on 18,000. So I said, look, leave that.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Okay. And if people wants to contact you for any recruitment thing, like which is the best platform where they can contact you?
So I'm on Instagram, 16,000 followers on Instagram. My email, frank@recruitingboss.com, is the best way to contact me. I have helped real estate agents recruit in South Africa and Canada. And so we are international. I just focus on the States. So I can help anybody when it comes to recruiting. But my email is probably the best. And my phone number, I answer all my text messages. And I think one of the big things about me is that when people say they're too busy, like that doesn't mean that you're too busy. It means that you're just bad at time management. Like you don't know how to leverage yourself. And I've run offices with hundreds of agents, and I have multiple businesses, and I am always available just because I know how to handle and leverage my time. So my personal phone number is, can I give it out on here?
Yes, yes. It's
Yeah.
it's all totally option where people will call you up.
Yeah, no, it's 818-263-7265. You can text me. I'm usually always available. If I'm in a meeting like this, I'll just text you when I'm done. And that's the best way to contact me.
And one last question. You have such a nice sleeves with tattoos. What exactly it means?
Yeah, so during COVID and the lockdown, I decided to get some more tattoos, and I had a tattoo on my shoulder which was older and wasn't very good, and I got it redone, so it goes all the way up over my shoulder. But I'm
Mm.
very big into Asian culture, so there's an Asian demon on my shoulder, there's a foo dog, and then I have a bunch of Asian writing on my arms that basically symbolize like Invictus, which is basically never quitting, never giving up. My mom's birthday. I have some dragons on here, and it's all interwoven together.
Amazing. When I will meet you personally, I will see. I love to see that. I even have full tattoo sleeves. I just completed it last week. So now it's
Nice.
whole completed. But I will love to see that.
Awesome.
Okay. Thank you so much for joining our show. And it's a lovely interaction. I got lots of new learnings also. Thank you so much,
Thank you
Frank.
so much for inviting me. This was amazing meeting you.
Sure, Frank.